What's up, guys? Happy Sunday to you. This is the weekly bargain bin where I've been showing you guys the cards that have been dropping the most over the last 7 and 14 days, looking at the trends so that we can decide if it's a good time to buy a player or a card because it's at a very low point of their prices. So as you guys hop on, I'm going to be showing you the cards that have dropped the most over the last 2 weeks at first. So I'm going to go basketball, football, baseball. And then from there, if you guys have any players or cards you want me to look up, I can do that for the remainder of the time. So if you're watching this later in the day or tomorrow or the next day, let me show you the cards first. And as I do that, I'll say hi to you guys. Seuss, I don't know if it's Seuss, David Hunter. What's up, JR Sports Card? It's awesome to have a nice Sunday with you guys. Let me show you these numbers first, then we're going to get into your questions. So the first thing you see here is market movers, and I'm going to start with basketball. And if you take a look at the top, I just want to show you guys there's no raw cards here. It's just PSA 10s, 9s, 8s, BGS down to 8.5, SGC 9 to 10. So look at the names here. And these are the players that have dropped the most over the last 7 days. And some may surprise you, some may not. But just take a look here at what's dropped the most. Markelle Fultz, Kyrie Irving, and others. And another important thing to consider is the amount of sales, because if there's not a lot of sales, then obviously it's going to go down a lot. If one sale is lower, it's going to bring it down a lot. So I like looking at this just to get a sense of what people are thinking. Are they selling? Why are they selling Kyrie now? Did it go up too high because he was too obvious of a target for the offseason? What about Brandon Clark? He didn't win Rookie of the Year as expected, but he had a great career or a great season. Damian Lillard again. So I look at this first and I go, all right, who's dropping this last 7 days? Who's also been dropping the 14 days prior or the 7 days prior? And I see here, look, like for example, look at Damian Lillard, dropped 45% over the last 2 weeks. Look at this. His select basketball, his select rookie in PSA 10, 64%. So Lillard is still dropping 2 weeks ago. And then if you take a look at the last 7 days, there he is again, but he hasn't dropped as much. So the way I interpret that is, okay, you dropped a ton. You're out of the playoffs. You went on your high. You had your amazing streak, and now you're back to earth. And because this is down to 22%, that's when I start to think, okay, now it's getting close to the time to buy. And I actually just bought a select Damian Lillard last night. So if we take a look here, Kyrie Irving again, Karl Anthony Towns was on that list. Giannis is going to be an interesting one because they could be eliminated. I think tonight they play. So what a disappointment Giannis and the Bucks have been. We're not even sure if he's going to play, but Giannis is going to be an amazing target for the next few weeks to see if he does get eliminated, where will his prices go and where will he go? So, if I just take a look at Giannis real quick, I'll show you guys. Okay, his hoops PSA 10 plummeted 54%. A lot of cards just going down because the Bucks are disappointing, which is great because disappointment means the hype is gone and now it could be a good time to buy. Anthony Davis was atop that list last 2 weeks. If you've got my email, Anthony Davis was the one that was dropping the most. Last 7 days, Anthony Davis isn't even in the bottom 9. So if I go down here, is Anthony Davis here? Okay, so now he's dropped only 11%. So he dropped a ton, then dropped more, and now only dropping 11%. So to me, that tells me, okay, if the Lakers are going to make a run, that could be a good time to get in on some of his cards. And if I go down here, I want to see if, and yeah, a couple cards have already rebounded. So like his Prism BGS 9.5 has gone up. So that's what I wanted to show you on basketball. I'm going to go back to the comments, say hi to you guys, and then move on to football. But just that's the way I like to interpret this kind of stuff. What's up, Mike C? What's up, David, again? Yeah, dude. And Lillard, I bought a Lillard card because Lillard is that player that he's going to be in Space Jam. He's in that movie. He's awesome. He's proven to be a great player. He just needs a better supporting cast. He needs help. He can't be injured. He can't be carrying the whole team. And so it looked like Carmelo Anthony wanted to come back. And if they add another piece, then all of a sudden the Blazers could be the 4th seed in the West. They could be expected to do a lot better rather than a team that wasn't expected to get in at all. And then you saw his prices surge. So I'm happy to get in with someone like Damian Lillard, who's as proven as possible. And even if his upside isn't through the roof, the downside is very little because he's so proven, because he has a movie next year, because I think he's a rapper. He likes to rap. He has a big media following, stuff like that. So moving on to football. And we're going to go over this afterwards of any players that you want me to look up, because this is fun. I like looking up trends. I like seeing what people are doing, what they're thinking. And, for $50 a month, not everyone can either afford market movers, or even if you can afford it, it might not be worth it just yet. So this gives you a good feel. Now, take a look at football. This is nothing. Look at this. The top 9 drops is the highest is 13%. The lowest is 1.7. So football. Oh, sorry, my fault. So it was here, but actually at the top. So Derek Carr would be the top, but still 6.4. There's very little drops, and that makes sense because all the hype is still there. No one has sucked yet. So Derek Carr, and to see his Chrome football, his Chrome PSA 10 fall, it's because he also had gone up so much. So it's not really much to look at with football, at least the way I interpret it, because this is nothing. 6%, 10%. This is the last 14 days, and the biggest drop we have is 19.9% of all of football. So compare that to baseball, and that's why football is more like, I just got to wait and see, because I don't want to buy anything based on what they could do this upcoming year unless the prices are really low. But the prices aren't really low because everyone's been thinking about it for the last 3 months. So take a look at baseball in comparison. Now at minus 30%, minus 25, minus 24. Okay, so take a look at the guys here. If you got my newsletter, Ozzy Albies was on the list for last 14 days and last 7. Let's see who else. I think Miguel was as well. But, this is 7. This is okay. Sorry, that was last 14 days. This is last 7. So let's see here. Jordan Alvarez, not too much in the last 7 days. Joe Adell is the biggest drop right here. But then compare that to the last 14 days. And Joe Adell is here as well. So that's what I like to see, because you can't go down forever. And yeah, Bryce Harper. Okay. So really, there's not too much on baseball at the moment. Like nothing. When there was like what are those other guys? Because I don't follow baseball, but the Wander Franco and some of the other guys, that really hot prospect was just tanked like crazy. And it looks like all that the Topps 2020 project has already dissipated, so it's nothing too heavy here. But that's what I like to see is Joe Adell, Gavin Lux, Ryan Sandberg, Curt Schilling, who is being repeated here, because that's when investors like myself go in and say, you can't go down forever. So if there's any names that you saw 2 weeks in a row, let me know. And besides that, I want to go over what you guys are thinking. Jason Dominguez, yeah, he's one dude for sure. What's up, card collector? Yeah, dude. And El Deuterino, hockey is overlooked. And the one interesting part about hockey is that now that we're seeing different skill positions gain attention in football, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, I applied a bit of that philosophy to hockey as well. And I'm expecting goalies to get a bit more attention. I invested a bit in my own goalie, Andrei Vasilevsky of the Lightning, because he's amazing, and the Lightning could win. And even if that's another year before goalies get love and before hockey cards take off, I'm okay buying that now because he's already proven himself to be a great player. I always just feel like if we care about these players and we're going to buy their jerseys, and they play safety and they play running back, they play all these different positions, if we're going to buy their jerseys, why wouldn't we buy their cards? And I feel like the way it was before is we have got to abide by the rules and the laws of the hobby of what it was 10, 20, 50 years ago. But now the technology's changed. The people have changed. The social media influence. Like now we look at a player, and what we feel towards a player could have nothing to do with how they perform on the field if we choose to. Like why Colin Kaepernick is more popular now for a lot of people than he was 6 years ago. It's that same philosophy. So do you want me to look into Jason Dominguez? JR, just put a yes if you do. And let me know if there's any guys that are on your radar. I also sent out this email about 2 days ago with all of these players on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up Jason Dominguez just to show you what it looks like and see what his chart is like. Come on, Jason. No. There you are. Okay. Spelled his name wrong. All right, so the last 14 days he went down 8%. But see, okay, so he rebounded. So let's see. So he had a big drop, and then the last 14 days, very little, under 10%. And then the last 7 days, it looks like that's where some investors said, hey, okay, this is a good price to go back in. It's hit a point at which I feel comfortable buying because it's low enough to warrant his risk level and also his talent. So that's what I like to look at here. Who else do you guys have? He's still a bad investment. Hey, maybe, man, but some people want to take that gamble at a certain price point. So obviously football is just going up. Very little's going down. Basketball's all over the place. I'm going to look up Giannis in detail right now just because I expect Giannis's prices to really fall once they get eliminated, barring a miracle. Yep, I got to. So let's see, last 30 days. Okay, last 60 days obviously went up. Last 30 days gone down, a lot of hype. And then, so now the overall pattern's less and less, but when they get eliminated, it has to go up. It just doesn't make sense. But the ones that have dropped the most, let's see, the PSA 9 Prestige, his hoops in 10, his hoops in 9. And also remember to look at the amount of sales. So with 18 sales here, I take this one a lot more seriously than the others. The 31, his PSA 10, 19%, but I expect those to drop a lot more. And 0 zeros, and with only 5 sales, his Panini rookie has gone up, but besides that, a lot more dropping. Jaren Jackson. Well, let's see what Jaren Jackson's prices are now. Let's see, Alan. I invest in Kobe. I mean, I love Kobe. I have more Kobe and Tom Brady cards than anyone else, but that's also because that was before I got back into really knowing the current athletes. So I went in on what I did know, which was Kobe, Tom Brady, Shaq, LeBron, some of those guys. Let me take a look at what Kobe's prices are like. And I mean, Kobe's going to fluctuate. Obviously, his legacy can only be altered by any memorials, any documentaries, or things that just change the perception of the player. But, Kobe has seen his peak. So last 7 days, minus 7%, it's not enough for it to really matter. Minus 21, minus 27, but then, okay, overall, it's from a plus 45% growth. And last 90, okay, almost doubled in price. So really went up, still is going up, and then started softening. So this could be a good time to look at Kobe just because while everything's going through the roof, just everything's going up, but during the period of going up, it's kind of like steps where it's up, softens, back up, softens. But overall, it's just going to keep going up. And yeah, his metal rookie card, BGS 9.5 dropped the most here. And if I open this up in a new chart, I'll show you what this looks like. I just have to share this some other way. Hold on a second. Just share screen, application. Let's take a look here. No, wrong one. Let's see, share. Did that work? Popular card charts. All right, no, hold on. One more time. Gonna get this going. Popular card charts, share screen. Obviously, technology is not my friend. Card charts. Okay, there you guys go. So actually, if you look at it in this metal rookie card here, January, February, March, April, May. So since June, $300 was his price, and the last one at $388. Since June, that's actually very close considering the trajectory of all these other players. So even something like this, I'd be very intrigued about. And then if I go back even further, obviously you're going to see a lot more data. Let's see if this shows you the overall growth from the beginning of the year, which, all right, that makes way more sense. But look at the peak. It hit $1,000 and now at 388, and with all the money coming in from people that have hundreds of thousands or these funds coming in with millions of dollars, I think that's a very easy target at $388 to go in at. Because sure, it could go down more, but considering the bottom of it, I mean, even March, April was a whole different hobby than it is now. But to see the last sale at 388, I think that's easy. All right, what else do you guys want to look at? What's up? I don't know if it's IF or if. IF reminds me of intermittent fasting, which is something that I do. I love intermittent fasting. Magic Johnson. I invested in Magic Johnson a while ago because of his association with the Dodgers, association with Kobe, and just that whole Kobe. If Kobe's big, then I'm like, all right, well, Shaq's in the mix. Well, Jordan's somewhat in the mix. I mean, Jordan was his mentor. Kobe was like the protege, and then Magic is right there, and he's still living. And Magic, I think the one cool thing about Magic Johnson is that he's very much tied into pop culture because he was the athlete with AIDS. He is the one that in the early 90s, if you ever see those, I think it was on CNN, the 90s documentaries, you see players like Karl Malone in interviews going, I don't know if I even want to play on the same court as Magic because I don't know if this AIDS thing can be transferred over to me with his sweat. And it's not like he said it in a mean way, but it was just Magic Johnson was that guy. So I'll take a look at Magic Johnson prices for you too. Hold on one second. But remember, everything's going up. It's just more about what can soften at the moment because there's not going to be a player in here that has not gone up over the last 6 months. That's just ridiculous. So let me share the screen. Leonard Fournette. Luka, I'm going to look into. Leonard Fournette, he had the biggest jump, and I'll show you here. But he also, I expect after that big jump, then it goes back to, okay, let's calm ourselves. Let's gather ourselves. That was an overreaction. Now we still have to watch to see if he is the primary ball carrier because now Arians is saying Ronald Jones will be the main guy. There's LaShawn McCoy. There's the third-round pick, Keyshawn Vaughn. So it's not assumed that Leonard Fournette's getting 25 touches a game, but we'll see. Magic Johnson, let me share the screen here. Share screen. Uh-oh, hopefully this works. All right. So last 90 days for Magic Johnson. Hopefully you guys see this. I'm not just talking to no one. Up 100% in the last 90 days. Last 60 days, okay, about the same thing. Then it softened a bit. Softened, and then now +9. That's a lot of growth, though. I mean, very little down. So I feel like people have gotten on the Magic Johnson train. If I take a look at his Topps card here, I'd have to share this with you here. Yeah, dude, I'll show you right here what Magic Johnson's looking like. But it's so like going up so much that I'm not gonna get Magic Johnson now because I feel like everyone's ready, jumped on that train. So let's see. Okay, so January, February, March, April, May, June. So we're talking about the lowest point was $20 for his Topps PSA 8. Okay, so this is one specific card. But if you take a look here, $467. So, I mean, that's ridiculous. $25 a couple months ago, and now it's at $467. I would never be paying anything like this when the prices were that low just a few months ago. That makes no sense to me. That's a good indicator for me to sell and roll that over into someone like Giannis or Luka or one of those guys. So let's see here. Rated. What's up, Jason? What's up, DJ Quicksilva? Uh-oh, we got someone from the Netherlands. If you're overseas, by the way, if you're in Great Britain, Europe, Netherlands, Australia. So one question I got a lot is, I want to invest in cards, but shipping is a pain in the ass. I have to pay it a lot of money to get it shipped to me, and then I have to ship it out, and it costs a lot. So I reached out to Scott Greenberg, who is the CEO of StarStock, and he said that you can actually send cards directly from eBay and from breakers and from different suppliers to them. So if you're just looking to invest and have them hold it in the US and another company like StarStock list it, you can actually use that company, just have it mailed to them, and you don't have to worry about having it shipped to you just for you to ship out again. So it's something to really think about. Let's take a look here. Trae Young, rated rookie base. Dude, I know good things about Trae Young. When it comes to me, it looks like DJ agrees, Jason agrees. I just want to look at the charts though, because everything's a good investment at a certain price, right? Jameis Winston's a good investment at a certain price, but at the same price as the starting quarterback is Drew Brees, it's a horrible investment. So it really comes down to at what price are you paying and what is the risk reward. Larry Bird, yeah. So okay, what player are you really intrigued to look at right now? I'm going to look up Larry Bird right now for El Deuterito, and then maybe Trae Young as well, and see what their prices are doing. So let me try this out one more time. Share screen. By the way, what do you guys think of the Lakers and the Rockets? I'm surprised that the Rockets looked so good in game one, and the Lakers looked so flat. So who do you guys have for game one tonight? And I must say, I'm very excited about my Lightning and the Islanders, because the Islanders looked really good last night, but definitely excited about how that's going to play out. So let's see. Trae Young has dropped a little bit, and of course, it's such a small amount. Well, these cards, look at this. Whew. PSA 9 Donruss. A lot of these fell, but then there's got to be some that went up. Yeah, so here we go. So we have a bit of growth on the selects, the prisms, prism silver, like very little though. I mean, this could just be someone's feedback not being that good, which drops the price, or the time of day, or the day of the week. But then you look up here and you go, okay, wow, there's a lot of Trae Young that is dropping by a good margin. And with 12 sales here of his Donruss PSA 9, that's good. Like that's something that if I saw this, I would go on eBay and I would look at the last couple months of sales history and then decide, do I want to buy his prices now? Because any investor looking at this data that's interested in Trae Young would want to say, okay, hold on, let me do a bit more research myself if I'm a fan of Trae Young. So if I chart this card, I'm going to have to share a different screen here. Let me try this out. Popular card charts. I'm going to get fast at this. Popular card charts. Okay, wow. I'm hoping you guys see this. Okay, there it is. So we said January, February, March, April, May. So June 11th, we had a sale at $25. And look at this trajectory here. Hit a peak of $100 for his Donruss 9. And then the last one, $32. So knowing him, the future of the Hawks, the market keeps going up as a whole, just more people entering. If I can get a Trae Young card, if I was interested and I can get a Trae Young card for around 30 to 40 bucks, I would be like, that's a pretty damn good investment. Because, at one point it hit $100, in this current market. And even so, 79, 85, that's really low. So I'd do a bit more research on that, because that's a very good price to get in if you believe in Trae Young and the future of the Hawks. All right. I'm back. I don't know about that either, man. I don't know. Can't play against great guards. Tyler Hero, here's the thing. I'll be honest. I have zero money invested in the Heat. The only players I have invested right now in the NBA playoffs are Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Uh, that's it. And I'm enamored with hockey, so I've not even watched the other series, the Jazz, the Rockets, or the Jazz, the Nuggets. I didn't watch that at all. The Raptors, I don't have anyone there, so I haven't kept up with them so much in detail. But Tyler Hero, I'll look up his prices just because that's how I would reference all this if if it's worth buying. But I also feel like, man, it is it's cutting it close because now you're investing very close to crunch time, to the semifinals, to the finals. And if his prices aren't great, then it's like, well, now it could go down and then you have to wait for next year to recoup it. And who knows what happens in the off season and if his prices will drop. But if I go down here, very small. Okay, hold on. So couple sales, I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. And there we go. So if you take a look, this is Tyler Hero the last week, and some cards went down, but as you see here, some cards went up, and it's only a handful of sales, 5, 7, 3, but obviously they went up, and that's how it should be. To me, I don't like buying on the way up. I like buying after the expectation is gone. It's like I always joke around and tell you guys, lower your expectation of me because then I might pleasantly surprise. But if your expectations are really high, that means the hype is really high, which means if I don't deliver, then you're disappointed. I don't want to keep that. I don't want to have that on me. So let's see. Last 30 days, Heroes prices. All right. Last 14 days went down a bit. And then last 7 days, obviously, started to go up. It really is dependent on what you feel with Tyler Hero. I don't know anything about him. And even though the Heat look good, it's do you believe they'll go all the way? And if they don't, then more than likely the cards will just drop after they're eliminated. And then you could have bought something else with that money, and either you sell at a loss or you just hold for next year. But I mean, like if you wanted to see here, maybe his silver 9, because it's down a little bit, it's a decent price, but nothing substantial. Like nothing catches my attention when it's only down 10%, 20%. I want it to be down like 25, 30. I want people to really be discounting cards so that in the next 3 to 6 months or even year, I feel like it'll go higher. All right. Yeah, I don't know about the Lakers either. I don't know. I hope they do make it through. I just don't know. It is, yeah, very tough, man. It's like they're bipolar. They just have some great games where LeBron looks like LeBron, and then games where you're like, Anthony Davis is a great player. LeBron is an all-time great. Like, how does this happen? And I don't know if it's just laziness. Like, they're just like, look, let me take this game off, and I want someone else to step up. But sometimes I feel like there's 2 players on the team, and I don't know who the other guys are. They're just kind of like standing there, like cardboard cutouts, so that someone has to guard them, but they're not really contributing. Dude, maybe, man. Well, I mean, do you guys want to check out James Harden's prices or Russell Westbrook's prices? Because yeah, Rockets look great in the first year. Calvin Johnson, I bought some Calvin Johnson Prism first years for very cheap. I can look up his prices. Prism Silver Hero. Okay. So let's see here. Tyler Hero, Silver Prism. And yeah, so you see here that 180 was the minimum sale, 305. Let's see if there's a 10. So silver here. Okay, silver 10. All right, so those are the prices there. Let me look up Calvin Johnson real quick. And if you're just joining, I went through all the players that have dropped the most under basketball, football, and baseball over the last week and 2 weeks. And if you take a look at football, it's really slim pickings. You have Derek Carr going down, but pretty much it's because his prices were super high. There's also talks of John Gruden going with Mariota because he's a big fan of Mariota and not one of Carr. So I'd have to look further into that to see if how legit that is. But everything's gone up in football. I think Jared Stidham was the one guy that really intrigues me. Oh, sorry, not Calvin Ridley. Calvin Johnson. Sorry. Oh yeah, got to share my screen. This gets really confusing. Calvin Johnson. So where are you? Why is there no Calvin Johnsons here? Well, I guess. Let me see if I can add raw just to see if there's something under raw. I put something else, maybe it'll refresh. But I can't see anything with Calvin Johnson. A player like him, I remember looking up to see if he'd be in the Hall of Fame just to see what the odds are. And some analysts said that, or some website said that they're not even sure he'd be in the Hall of Fame just because he had such a short career, because he quit after 9 years, 10 years, when he had so much potential. All right. Where you at, Calvin? If it doesn't work, I'm just going to have to move on, because sometimes this doesn't pick up, and I'm not sure why. But Calvin Johnson doesn't have too much upside except for just Hall of Fame. But it looks like there's just nothing in here. Like, nothing has been tracked for Calvin Johnson at all. So I'm going to have to go to someone else. All right. Invest in James Harden. What do you guys think of investing in James Harden? Dude, now I'm live streaming. This is a lot better than doing all the editing I'm doing. So I can be on here for an hour, and I could show you guys whatever it is you want to, whatever you want to see. So this is the way I interpret the data. I want to see who's dropping, who people don't have any hype on. So the prices have gotten eradicated of all the hype that was attached to their name and their prices. I bought my first 12 Zion rookie cards because now that his true value is being exposed, rather than he's going to be the next big thing. He's going to be the next big thing. Good. You kind of have weight issues. You kind of have health issues. You didn't look that great. I want to buy you at your low so that when you do fix these issues, or there's some good headline from you, then the prices will go up. But on CompC, in fact, I'll show you guys what I bought on CompC. Maybe that'll be a good idea. And I'm not like this is the best investment in the world, but it's more like I saw the price it hit, and because it hit this certain price, I'm good investing in it because I feel like it could hit that price again, but I'm buying for a third of that price. So that's the way I like to look at it. If it hit $50 and I could buy it at 15, then I feel confident that it could hit 30 or 35 or 40. So let me show you. Share screen. Try this again. Dashboard. This is the card. I know it's not his main rookie card right here, but for $8.25, I got his mosaic insert rookie card, whatever you want to call it. But this is what got me is if I go here to his chart, this card, this is like 2 or 3 weeks ago, sold for $34 when he was super hyped up, and I was getting him at $8. So my thought process is, if I can get this card for $8, then I have confidence it can go to 12 or 15 or 20 before the season even starts, when people start getting back on the Zion train. And some people are saying, look, whether you like Zion or not, the one issue or the one bit of information that people were telling me is that this upcoming draft class is so bad, or it's like not exciting at all, that Zion could keep the hype from last year because this rookie class isn't special. There's nothing really to look at. So that's what I was doing right there. David, I love Megatron. Nick Chubb, let me take a look at Nick Chubb for you. Dude, watching James Harden play is just weird, man. It's like kind of like Kimbo Slice / a homeless man / it's just interesting. It's interesting because he has like kind of a thick body, but he's super quick, and he has a long beard, and he has like these big eyes, and I don't know what to make of James Harden. It's just interesting to watch him play. Seriously, sports cards. Let me look that up after James Harden. So let me check out James Harden's prices real quick. And let's see here. Share screen. Come on, internet. You see Leonard Fournette's numbers went through the roof, as they should. I don't know how he'll end up being this year, but, you know, it's a fresh start. He has a chip on his shoulder, and he's on a great team. So James Harden, the last 30 days, very little down. Okay, pretty much nothing, and then even now, nothing overall. Now you see here, okay, there's only 2 sales of his Upper Deck PSA 9, which from 32 was the minimum sale up to 95. So that one really took off. He just doesn't have much volume. I guess this, yeah, in fact, I want to take Raw out of it because Raw shows too many different calibers or qualities of cards where it's not a very accurate representation. So let's see now what his numbers are at. Minus 8.7 overall if I take Raw out. Obviously, this is the 2 sales. That went through the roof. Everything else did nothing or went down a little bit. But if you look at the number of sales, it's just so low. 3, 2, 1. Not enough to really get a grasp as to what's going on. This one right here, the 9 sales right here, and very little. It looks like people are content with that price range of James Harden. So I wonder if you believe the Rockets will go past the Lakers, I think that's when Harden will go up, because now the big dog, the Lakers, are out of it, and now it's wide open. Because it looks like the Bucks are going to be out of it, the Lakers are going to be out of it, and then it comes down to what the Clippers, if they win, Celtics, and a couple others. But if you have those 2 big dogs out, then I could definitely see James Harden's prices going up, especially if they dominate the Lakers. But that's asking a lot. All right, I'm going to show you the 3 baseball players, seriously, sports cards that have gone up the most. I don't like showing what's gone up the most just because that's not how I invest so much, because that's when I know to sell, or at least that's it, because it can continue to go up. It could, but if it's gone up a lot, that's an indicator to me that, hey, what if I sell now and then roll that into something that's low? Because there's buy low, sell high, and then there's buy high, hope for higher. And I feel like a lot of people buy high, hope for higher, but that only works so long, because right now, with so many people getting in the hobby, that could work. But at some point when it levels out, you have to buy low and sell high to make money. You can't just, what's the highest, and then do I want to risk it going even higher? Now, one interesting guy on here, if you got my weekly newsletter, was Nico Horner. And the reason that it's interesting is because when I went over the players that had dropped the most over the last 2 weeks, Nico Horner was on the list, for the top of the list, for day 14 and 7. So he had a huge drop 14 days ago, in the last 14 days, and then a smaller drop in the last 7. But that's the kind of thing that tells me, okay, you went down a ton, then you went down a bit more. Are you getting towards that bottom? And of course, now he's atop the list of going back up, because investors saw that, yo, you're really low right now. Let me get back in at a good price, and then your cards will go back up. But we got Luke, Nico, I don't even know how to pronounce this, Yoan, and then the players that have dropped the most, which I showed earlier in the last 7, are Joe Adell, Ryan Sandberg, Gavin Lux, Kurt Schilling, and these guys. And then again, I look to the last 14 days to see which players have dropped that are on the same list, to see, okay, I think Ozzy was there and a couple others, but I like to see who's on both lists. All right. Oh, shit. I put on the wrong screen, guys. My bad. So that's what I meant to do. Oops. A long-term buy. You know what? Yeah, man. He's looking good, and no one, I don't know, no one really talks about James Harden for how good he is. I mean, because I remember thinking about this a while ago. I was like, well, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, they're really good. They're exciting to watch. They can score at will. Why is no one talking about them? And this was a few months ago, knowing the Rockets were going to be in the playoffs. I feel like people were talking more about players on teams that probably wouldn't even make the playoffs than they were about Harden. So I wasn't even sure what reason that is. All right, so Jason's, dude, do you want me to look up one of these guys? Okay. You're answering seriously sports cards. Damn, man. Yeah, Bubba Fett, I see here. Kimbo Slice, dude. He looks like Kimbo Slice, man. Kobe. Okay, so you know what? Holy shit! It's Tom from MySpace. Tom from MySpace. You've changed your name, but thanks for joining me on YouTube. I didn't know you were on YouTube. Let me look up Kobe White for you because you guys answer based on what you think about Kobe White outside of the price. But let me look up Kobe White's prices to see of Kobe White cards which ones have the most upside based on what the chart is saying. Oh, no, he's not a sport. Hold on. Come on, internet. That's the tough thing about being at my parents' house is that they still have AOL dial-up from year 2001, and so it's not easy to get through here. So taking a look at Kobe White, let me make sure that this is showing. And let me take your comment down just so I can show the chart here. Kobe White. So the card that dropped the most in the last 14 days was his PSA 10 Donruss. Then we have his BGS 9.5 Prism, his Prism Red, White, and Blue. Okay, so that's the last 14. Let's see if there's anything. And it looks like, okay, take a look at that. So the last 30 days, let's see, last 60 days. Okay, last 60 days overall went up. Last 90 days should be up. Okay, so it's actually, look at the trend. So up a lot over the last 90 days. And 90 days is a long time with this hobby at the rate it's moving. Went up more, but not as much. Then down. So that was the biggest down. And then last 14 days, down another 4% overall, not too much. And then right now, when I see minus 0.3 and I see it go from minus some, minus very little, my thinking is that it's probably going to flatten out and then start curving up. Investors like to look at it when it's towards the bottom. And even though some cards are going down, some cards you see here are going up. So this Prism BGS 9.5 went up, all these. But to get a better understanding, I'd have to look at this overall chart. So let me chart this card, see if I could share this correctly. Stop share screen, press that button. Popular card charts, and let's see how this works. Okay, so right here you have Kobe White, January, Feb, March, April, May. So June, $36 for his PSA 10, and now $50. So in that last 3 months, from 36 to 50, but he hit that high of $100. Could this keep going down? Maybe. If you love Kobe White, you feel like the Bulls have a good season next year, or have reason to believe that they'll be better, then you could wait and see if it goes down a bit more. But as an investor looking at this and knowing the whole market is going up and people are entering every single day, I'd rather take a good deal than hope for a great deal and not get it. So if you believe in Kobe White, if you think that this is a good card to go after at this price, and the other thing is you could say like, all right, I can put an offer in at 45 or 40 and see if the seller will take it. If I'm a seller right now, I'm waiting for that to go back up. I'm not content with anything less than $50 unless I really want to get rid of it to roll over into something else. Dude, I'm just saying. Just saying, man. What's up, new creation? Mountain Castle? What is this? Mountain Castle? Andy was getting scammed on his comments. The person said, "Do you love me?" Yeah, it's like a porn site, like a live streaming porn site. I don't think of it as scam. I think of it as like a compliment by a robot. But hey, I'll take the engagement, right? It's actually good to have that engagement. Pizza joints. Anna, great question. I think what they should do, it'd be amazing if there was a machine, if we could have a machine that card shops can have, and either as a service where you could literally put in the machine the card, kind of like a vending machine, and it knows the dimension, it can read the image, it could read the dimples, it could do all these things, and then the card shop owner print it out. So like there's a printer attached to it, and it could be something where you go in and $5 a card, $6, $8, even if it's a full price, but it's verified and it's a machine that could pump it out real quick, because the technology in sports cards are way beyond what they're doing at PSA and the others. It's literally like referees not using instant replay or technology. They're just like, yeah, I think it was pass interference. We're going to go for that. And it's a play that determines who's getting into the Super Bowl when you have 50,000 cameras in HD. So I know people are going to be working on it. It has to be. All right, Jason. I'm guessing you're talking about baseball, because I have no idea. Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me get to Nick Chubb, because you mentioned that earlier. And other thing, guys, if you enjoy this, hold on a second. I might have to stop the share. If you guys enjoy this weekly thing, this is a lot easier for me. I like the engagement. Just let me know if Saturday morning or Sunday morning works better for you. But I'd love to be able to do this. And especially if you're looking to invest over the weekend and you want to buy something, then it really helps to do this at a time before you buy, in case you find a deal that you prefer even more. So you let me know Saturday morning or Sunday. Just put in the comment section, or I'm just going to do it whenever the hell I want. Chubb. See if Nick Chubb, there you are, Nick Chubb. And obviously, if it's football overall, it's definitely going up. Nothing here. It's kind of weird. Oh, okay. So if I include Raw, there's only one card in the system. 25 sales, minimum sale 11 up to 21. So I'm going to chart this card for you. See if I can. Oh, crap. I didn't screen share again. Hold on. Price charts. All right, hold on one second. Popular card charts. All right. So there's Nick Chubb. As you can see from the last couple months, it went from $3.87 for the only card in here, which is his Prism Raw, all the way up to $16. So still very low in terms of dollar amount, but that kind of growth is huge. So if you want to take a gamble on Nick Chubb, go for it. I know a lot of people, including Andy at the Fantasy Football Card Quest, is talking highly of Chubb. But at this point, everything's going up. So it's really a matter of, do you want to wait for an injury, or you want to wait for someone to underperform to get in, or are you confident paying $16 or $20 for his rookie for it to continue to climb because he does perform well? All right. What's up, Personal Finance Dad? Dude, and the other thing I was thinking is, I know you use Card Ladder, Dustin, and I'd like to do something like this where we could both go on and hear what your strategy is for looking for deals using this and using Card Ladder, because then we could show different programs and different ways of finding deals. Because as you can see, I don't know most of these players, nor am I interested in them. But if I have this technology, I have this software, and it's something you don't want to invest $50 a month in, which I totally agree with. Like, if it's not worth it, then I'm happy to create this content for you. All right. Any more for baseball? What's up, Samuel's Views? Yeah. I think he's unlikable just because he looks scary. Like, I wouldn't want to wake up in the middle of the night and then James Harden is there. It's just like, kind of has a scary face. What's up, man? Glad you can make my live stream. Yeah, dude, please don't. Like, my internet here at my parents' house is like the minimum plan that AOL had in 1998 that they've just grandfathered over through the 9 different companies that was bought out and transferred. So even if I get a text or something on the Wi-Fi, I'm a bit nervous. Don't go by Beckett. Are you talking about Beckett prices? Because Beckett prices are pretty much irrelevant in this era. It's pretty much market value is what people are currently paying for it on eBay or on other sites. But right now, eBay is the monster. eBay is the big one. I would say, yeah, guys, if you want me to do this, okay, we have Saturday here as well. Sorry, I'm a bit behind on the comments here. What's up, Brian? All right, I'm going to end this if there's no other players to look at. If you do have a player specifically that you'd like to check out, I can throw it up here for the next few minutes. There's also a feature called Super Chat, because if you guys are on here and you really want me to look up a player and I'm skipping over it because I don't have time, there's a button called Super Chat where it's like you could just, it's pretty much like I'm a stripper and you could throw a few dollars at me and then I'll prioritize your pick, but we're not at this point yet. Let me look up Luka. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about the Luka right here. So that Luka's very interesting because he played very well. I saw Luka and I was like, this guy is fun to watch. He's international. He's young. He's likable. And I just see, barring an injury or anything stupid that he does, him just being a star and the style of play is very fun to watch. I think someone that has the ability to assist between the legs and make these jaw-dropping plays is going to add an X factor versus someone like Kawhi Leonard, who I look at and I'm like, you're impressive, but I just don't see any emotion from you. I don't see any X factor, any excitement from Kawhi Leonard to the point where I'm just not excited. Like I wouldn't want to buy his cards just for how he plays. I'd want to buy it for that feeling of like, dude, you're the man. You're pumping your chest. You have these mannerisms. You scream after a big play. All right, so you should be able to see this. And okay, so we have a couple cards that have dropped a ton. Let me go over his last 90 days and go through everything. So Luka went up a ton overall. Yeah, makes sense. Last 60 days still went up. And then, okay, that's the last 30. That must be when they got eliminated. Last 14 dropped 20%. Okay, it makes sense. Last 7 -5. So what's interesting just from this is I look at this and go, if I'm excited about Luka because of what he showed in the playoffs, and I know that other investors are excited about him for next year, how big is that window to get in on Luka? Because I want the window at which he's his lowest, but when he played well, there's not much of a window, especially with so many investors and collectors getting in and so much money getting in. A lot of people are like, I'm over the playoffs. What's next year? What's next year? And I feel like this could be a great time for Luka just based on these numbers, because if I see drops like this, and I'll go over it a bit slower. Optic, Shock, PSA 9, Pink Ice, Raw. Okay, I want to take out Raw, but whatever. I'm just going to keep it in here. No, you know what? I'm going to take it out because it's just I want to see what it looks like without that. Okay, PSA 9, Basketball Freshman, PSA 10, Hoops. So his Hoops went down 28%. But remember, and let's see what went up. Okay, so we had a lot of his cards go up. His Prism Red Ice, Pink Ice, Prism BGS 10 Pristine. And look at the sales, though. Only a couple. 2 sales, 2 sales, 2 sales. But still, these have gone up. This one right here has 7 sales. His Chronicles, Essentials. But right now, what I'm seeing overall is a balance of a lot going up, a lot without transactions, and then a lot going down. So it's like a seesaw in terms of where he's at. I just don't expect his prices to go down anymore because I'm getting excited right now just looking at where some of these prices are going. So let's see. Yeah, dude, that's it, man. And I feel like that's the difference between Luka and Zion, is that Zion, he had legit reasons for his prices to drop. Luka and the Mavs just got eliminated from the playoffs, but he won a game without Porzingis. He looked great. He looked exciting. So his window is pretty much that one moment in time when investors feel like and collectors feel like there's another opportunity and the prices will soften. But I just don't expect Luka's window to be big because of what he showed in the playoffs versus Zion, who disappointed a lot of people. All right. Historically, yeah. So Jeffrey, great point. Historically, that's what it's looked like. But remember, the hobby a year ago is probably a half or a third of the size of what it is now, and right now is probably a third or a half of what it's going to be in a year from now. And because there's so much money coming in and different angles, off season, I don't feel like we can follow the same rules as before. We can take part of that. And the human behavior, I'd say the human behavior of off season is I care about a player a lot because it's in season, and in off season I don't. But with so much entering the hobby, I think the off season is right now that week or two after they're eliminated, and I can't expect it to go down more unless people like, you know, the economy and, you know, like all the crazy stuff in society. But with so many new investors coming in, even if someone wants to liquidate, there's going to be a new investor saying, hey, I'll invest for next year. If there was only 100,000 people in sports cards and that's not going to change, I think it'd be a lot easier to say, yeah, we can have a month where the price is softened, or 2 months or 3 months. But right now, with this growth, everything's going up at such a high rate. It's more just like, okay, what's that one period where it does this before it goes back up like that? That's my take. All right. With that, I think I'm going to head off. I appreciate you guys joining me. If you guys do, I'm going to say this, this would help me out a lot. If you guys do buy on eBay today or tomorrow, my Good Karma comeback link is here. I'm going to post that. That's basically just my affiliate link to ebay.com. And that's if you're going to buy something on eBay, it costs you nothing, but it gives me like a 1 or 2% so that I can do this for free and continue to do this every week. And I don't go out to brunch on Sunday. So with that being said, thanks so much. Good luck with your investing. I can't wait to do this next week. It looks like it's a success and you guys enjoy it. And then let me know what players ahead of time you'd like for me to look up. Maybe I could have that queued up for next time. Peace out. Thanks so much. And I got to piss.